right, we're going to walk through making a simple website using GitHub. So the first thing to do is to make a GitHub account. You want to be a little careful with the username that you choose because the GitHub account name is going to be part of the URL for your website. So here I've made a GitHub account called Capstone account. So as a next piece on my personal account, not this example Capstone account, I've created a template that we are going to sort of pull into our account and use to create a website. So to do that, we're going to go to my personal GitHub account, and that URL is also going to be in the description of the video. So we go here and we're going to a particular repository. This NRS 02004, that's the account, .github.io is the particular repository. And now we're going to create a copy. So again, I'm not logged into my personal account. I've logged into this Capstone account. And I'm going to click fork to create a copy of this repository on that Capstone account. So one thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the name of this repository. On my personal account, I called it nrs02004.github.io. Instead, I'm going to put in the name of this new account I'm copying over to. So for me, that's Capstone account.github.io. For you, that's going to be whatever the name of the account that you've created is. I'm then going to create this with create fork. And this is now going to create a copy of that repository that we had before, only now it's going to be on this Capstone account. And when you do it, it's going to be a copy that's on your account. We can now edit this copy without modifying the version that's on NRS 02004. Now, this should actually have already created a website at this URL. However, for some reason, until we make a slight edit, what I found is that GitHub doesn't actually update this page. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to edit the HTML very, very slightly. So we're going to jump in here. To edit the HTML, we click on this file index.html, which is going to contain all of the code for the site. We're going to click on this pen in the upper right-hand corner, and then we are going to edit, say, the title. I have this goofy students in here, and you could change it to your name. Maybe I would change it to Noah or Noah Simon. Probably you want your last name here, or Noah Simon site. Then to save this, we scroll all the way down to the bottom and we click commit changes, and that updates that file. In general, this is not the way you want to update files on GitHub if you're using this for, say, programming or engaging with code. However, when we're just messing with this website, I think this is a totally reasonable way to engage with it. All right, now if we again try to go to this website, what we find is, here we go. We have a website, and the website's name we can see up here is Noah. And again, if you had changed that name to something else, you would have seen something else up there. So we have a picture of me. We have some text that I've made up describing a hypothetical master's student. We have some text over here on the right that you're going to want to change to have your email account and your name. We also have a link to a LinkedIn account that you'll probably want to change to your LinkedIn account. I, at the top, have this little menu that has links to projects, which will bring me down to a lower piece on the website. And I have a link to this piece, resume, that will link to a fake resume that I've uploaded. So let's click this. If I click it, it moves to resume.pdf, which again is a template resume that I grabbed online. You should put your resume here. We'll show you how to do that in a second. And if we scroll down or click on projects, again, projects is just down from that original text, we see some projects that I have worked on. One which links to another GitHub account, which has some code for a personal project that I worked on. Again, the goal is you've now grabbed this template and you just have to modify all of these pieces to work for you. So let's go back now and let's do a little bit more editing. So let's move back to this sort of front page for the repository. And let's look at each of these individual pieces and describe them a little bit more. Before moving forward, I just want to pause and note that I took the basics of this template for someone else, and they have a website linked here, and you can contact that person there if you would like to. Again, I did not originally create the template. I just updated it because I thought it was a nice template to use. So moving back up, we really only have three things we're going to engage with: index.html, photo.jpg, and resume.pdf. And again, photo.jpg is that picture of me, resume.pdf is that template resume. What you're going to want to do after you have copied things over is you're going to want to delete each of these. So how do we delete it? We click on photo.jpg. We can then click on this trash can. That will delete it, and then we click commit changes. And we've gotten rid of that picture. And then we do the same. We click on resume.pdf. We click on this trash can, and that's going to now delete the resume. We click commit changes. So we've removed those two, and then you're going to want to add in a file called photo.jpg and a file called resume.pdf that are your photo and your resume. And so let's see how we would do that. So one way to do that, the easiest way here, again, I think, is you click add file, you click upload files. You would then drag in the files here. I have those files in a folder that I've created on my computer. And so what I do here is I drag them in one at a time. And now I would click commit changes. And now those two have been added, or it's taken a second. They are now added. So again, they are now as part of the repository. So you would want to delete the old versions, upload new versions, and you may have to play around with that photo until it's an appropriate size. And then the last thing you would do is you would go into index.html, you would click on it, you would click on this pencil to let you update, and then you would edit pieces. And you may not know a ton about HTML, and that's totally okay. This should be a pretty simple site. What you would do is you would look for pieces that you want to change. I want to change this place that says student Studentson. So you go, okay, and you could even just search for Studentson, right? And it should find it for you. Here's where it is. And again, you could learn a little bit of HTML as you're going. You don't have to. You could then change this to your name. Maybe I'll use my name for 1 second. Noah Simon. Okay, here's my name, right? I might want to change other things. My email account, right, that I've said email account at uw.edu. I'm not going to put my real email account in here, but like abc@uw.edu. I could scroll down, right? I could edit various pieces, right? So what other pieces might I edit? Well, in here we have that main text, right? That's all of this text. I'd probably want to edit the LinkedIn link, right? So we'd have to figure out where that is. Anyhow, you could scroll through and look for a link. Links generally have right here, right? This is a sidebar link. We have my LinkedIn here. You're going to want to change that to your LinkedIn probably. And then in addition, we have a discussion of projects. And so you will want to change that to be appropriate for your projects and want to change those links to your project links. And you could add more projects if you want. And in addition, you could add more tabs at the top. You could add more different sections if you have other sections that are appropriate. And after you do that, or after you've made some edits that you want to save, you would click commit changes, and that would save those edits. And then if we go to the site and click refresh, sometimes it takes a little while. So here we see, okay, we clicked refresh and nothing happened, right? We would have expected these two pieces to update because I modified them. It can take a couple minutes for those to update. So let's wait a little bit. All right, and here we see those have now updated. So again, let's go through what we did here. So we created that GitHub account, or I assume that you created that GitHub account. You then fork that repository from the NRS 02004 account, my personal account. Okay, then you have to upload your own picture and your own resume. And then you go into that index.html and you modify the text such that it's appropriate for you. And now you have a website and you have the URL to the website. So the main URL would be right here, right? Except instead of my account name that I created, Capstone account, it'll be whatever account name you create. And I think this website should be indexed via Google, so you should presumably be searchable. And there are ways to change this to have a nicer URL, but we're not going to go through those now.